Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? Welcome
What
to
up, y'all?
what up? Welcome to another episode of Live With. Today we actually have a very special Live With because we're taking a sneak peek at Steve's upcoming Visions playing card campaign, which launches this Tuesday.
Oh my God,
So
Tuesday.
I know, man, it's getting close. You must be pumped.
Good Lord, I'm pumped. I'm stressed. Yeah, all that stuff.
Dude, I know the feeling. It's exciting, but it's nerve-wracking. But dude, it's gonna go great. This deck has been a long time in the works, and honestly,
Yes.
I will be the first person to admit that Steve is a bit of a perfectionist, and that definitely shows through in the campaign and the deck itself.
I'm
But
sorry, Christian.
But we are doing this live today to give you all an opportunity to ask any questions about the deck you may have of Steve, and also give you a little bit of an inside sneak peek at the campaign before it launches. So obviously, we're going to be running through the preview link that shows the campaign as it's built out. Things could change from now until Tuesday. There's always last minute tweaks that go into these campaigns. But I will tell you right now, I'm super impressed with it. I'm super impressed with the deck itself, and I know I'm really excited about this, especially that future edition, man.
Oh, here's the crazy thing. So I don't know what Lautrec is doing. For those of you who don't know, Lautrec is doing the future edition. We have a past, a present, which is going to be available at campaign launch, and then the future edition, which is a stretch goal.
Thank you, Samurai Atlas. We appreciate the support, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I know you're probably in the shower while you're watching this, but
thank you so much. That's impressive. A shower donation.
we always miss Ramon. So
yeah. So the 3 editions, and I'm excited about the future because I get it. I'm excited about the future, but I don't know what Lautrec's going to do. So it's a surprise for me up to this point, but I do know it's going to be pretty freaking amazing. It's going to be hot foil and it's going to be gilded, so it's going to be pretty epic.
And honestly, Lautrec still does the best hot foil in the industry, hands down. Yep. Dude is also a perfectionist, and it shows in his work. So
hence why I don't have a picture yet.
And one of the really cool things about it, though, too, is that this is going to be the last deck that Lautrec does on commission, as far as we're aware. Thank you for the support, Mark. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Dude, yeah, it's going to be intense, though, man. This is going to be a fun deck, but we will, why don't we dive into the campaign a little bit, Steve?
Let's do it, dude. Let's do it.
All right.
This is the first time we're showing it. Dang.
Yeah. You want me to pull it up on my side?
Yeah, you can pull it up. Probably be easier.
I don't remember.
Thank you so much, Samurai. Good Lord. Thank you.
Please, thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm floored right now. I'm trying to. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate the support. Let me pull up this campaign here, and we will take a look. This is going to be a fun one, man. Let's see what we got here.
4 minutes. Oh, I'm crossing my fingers that it gets funded. That's all. That's my first wish.
I'll tell you flat out, having worked with campaigns now, the funding in X minutes, while it's nice to be like, yeah, I funded in 12 minutes, funding in general is the goal and the true finish line there. So
yeah. I mean, I would love to hit the final stretch goal, because that's when the future and the collector's box gets unlocked, and that is definitely something pretty special. But
all right, let's see what we got.
Yeah, we'll see.
Share this screen and drop the branding, and there we go.
Dang,
all right, man. This thing's looking good already. 32 days to go, because they still have an active countdown when it hasn't launched yet.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is always interesting.
I only have 0 backers.
That will change very quickly, we have no doubt. But let's take a look. And this is the one thing I have to say, first off, Steve, 90 backed.
Dude,
let's
not talk about it.
always in the community, kicking it up there. Steve feels the pain we all feel, where a lot of money goes into playing cards. So
Jesus. Narul, if I don't reach the goal, the deck won't be printed. So jeez, Samurai, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ramon. We appreciate the support, man. You're killing us here, man. Thank you, Stu. We
Stu,
appreciate. I
thank
can't.
you.
No one. This is never a competition. We'll throw that out there. This is never a competition. We appreciate all the support, guys.
Yes, thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Dude,
Yeah,
so yeah,
the future deck will not be printed in another campaign. If it doesn't get to that point, it doesn't get to that point.
yeah,
I mean, maybe I'll have to have him print one for me, but
we can go through this too, like we would a normal Kickstarter recap here. So obviously, Steve's coming in with a $20,500 goal. The reason being, it's 2 decks from the jump, and both of those decks have a lot of. Mark says full fart song.
oh, you want the you got it. You got the full fart song, huh?
Oh my god, it's such a long one.
Let me make sure I press the right song.
Oh my god.
There it comes. It's coming to an end. Oh, I didn't even know that happened at the end.
I don't think we've ever hit the end of it, like between us on the show.
Either.
So that one right there was a rough one. But
Man.
so let's take a look at the goal here we got. So again, this is a 2-deck campaign off the jump. So a 20,000 goal is more than reasonable, especially when you're looking at a lot of the added functionality that's being added into the initial decks, even pre-stretch goal. So
yeah, the original is just standard printing in the, or I should say the past is standard printing, and the present will be metallic ink from the jump.
Yep. And I love to building out a story. This is something we talk about so frequently. Building out a story is important, and showing the journey that it takes to get to this campaign launching is a part of that story that I think a lot of people don't always capitalize on. Obviously, Steve here has his original sketch and prototype. And for anyone who's seen this, I mean, Steve has been teasing this for a long time. So this isn't even like, this shouldn't be a surprise to many, but if you look on Steve's campaign, I almost feel like this thing was printed by USPCC. That registration is terrible.
Dude, I think I want to say that one's the Zazzle edition.
That probably is the Zazzle edition. That one was
it's funny because I only printed like 2 or 3 of the Zazzle editions, and I think one person actually got the pre-concept edition, but yeah, the Zazzle edition.
Thanks so much, Vince. We appreciate it, man.
Vince, thank
You're
you.
a lying sack of...
Oh, I'm on the wrong bank. Thank God I stopped that thing. I gotta get off my fart song bank. Sorry. There we go.
Oh my god, I love it.
Thank God I caught that. Thank you.
Oh
so
my
much.
god.
Yeah. So what I was gonna do, actually, I haven't announced it yet, but I'm gonna actually give away in the throughout the campaign, if we do giveaway for all the backers or something or whatever, I'll think of how I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna give away that actual drawing and a concept edition and a prototype. So
I told Steve he should put it in a frame, and he said that's the backer's responsibility.
I don't want to have to deal with that shipping stuff.
Honestly, yeah, shipping glass is a huge pain. Shipping glass is a huge pain. But I honestly, though, I love that. And I have a copy of the Zazzle prototype, and I will tell you, while it is a cool first deck,
you're the one who
it handles like crap. Yeah, I have it.
Are you sure that's a Zazzle one?
Yeah, dude, it's in the Zazzle box. I have all of your prototypes.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Let me put
That's right. You're the one. You're one of the people that have. I think one other person has it. Oh yeah, there it is. Epic.
Z playing cards.
Epic.
Oh my god! And then here's the NPC V2 prototype.
Yeah, that's the
But to see where the journey goes, I think it's a great way to go about it, and I love that hand drawn sketch because I think it really adds a little bit of flair to it. And then obviously jumping right into the key features right there. Steve touches on the past, present, and future edition beautifully.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And I love the image usage there. This is the other thing we always talk about too, using those image assets because they are available. You can easily blend them in a way that fits with the campaign. I think it's so important to see that, especially early up top, because now people know basically everything they need to know about the campaign. They know the story, they know the features, they know who's printing, they know who's fulfilling. Everything below that is just eye candy for the most part. And I think that's great.
Yep.
Dude. And honestly, here we go. Render by Deck Idea. I have to say, Jason does phenomenal renders. So anyone out there who's looking for someone to do renders, reach out to Jason at Deck Idea on Instagram. Dude does great work. I mean, this looks legit.
That's the only problem, that we have doing prototypes. And, I didn't, have the funds to bring in a rendering team, because obviously that would have had to make the deck more expensive. But,
yeah,
Jason is just does amazing work, and other renders, were done by Christian over at Arcadia as well, and he does amazing work too. But um, I tried to take images of the deck first, and then rendering on top of the image is not always the easiest things for these guys to do. So they did a wonderful job.
Yeah, they did a really great job.
Yeah.
Got that nice produced by Wounded Corner with the dual logo there. I love the aspect of the logo, which is very clean and modern, versus the deck, which is very like kind of antique feeling in a sense,
Yeah. Now, throughout the deck, you'll actually see those. If you go up there, the 3 dots that are in between the arrows, those dots signify the past, present, and the future. So you'll see them kind of throughout the campaign in, or I should say the deck in the design.
I love how Steve put the ad copy for the prototype up there. So that will change from the N1. We won't be seeing NPC on the bottom of that.
No, that'll be Katamundi.
But I also love Christian's logo as well. I think it's always such a cool looking design with the harp. Or maybe it's a leer. Yeah.
He does amazing work. I love his stuff.
And then for anyone who hasn't seen it, this back design is just fire.
Thank you.
And this is, I mean, you can see it from that sketch up top to this. There's a long way between it. And this was one of like the first designs that Christian came up with.
Literally the first design.
Dude's just a genius when it comes to taking that conceptual idea and bringing it to life.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it took him like a day and a half.
Yeah, I know, which I think blew my mind.
Yeah, it was funny. I didn't even expect it. I sent him my original concept, and he's like, all right, let me, he was actually going through treatment because he, had cancer. So he was going through treatment. He wasn't sure if he was going to take it. I sent him the design. 2 days or 2 or 3 days later, I got this back, and I'm like, I guess you're going to take it? Like, he's like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm like, dad, dude. And that literally was, pretty much the first design. That design was the first. We made very little tweaks, like, side border changes and stuff like that. But for the most part, that was the first design he came in with.
And as you can see here, metallic or foiled based on stretch goals. So the past edition, like Steve mentioned, is going to be a standard print at the onset, but those stretch goals are reasonably laid out. So metallic ink will be the second stretch goal for this deck, and then foil would be the third. This in foil is going to be absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my God, that color is ridiculous.
And then the present edition actually starts out as metallic with foil as a stretch goal. So those past and present editions are going to be just out the gate beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And let's see what we got next here. We have the aces. So this, to me, I think Ace of Spades is my favorite card in this entire deck.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of great feedback, so I'm, super grateful that people like it. And Christian did an amazing job with it. I mean, he really went above and beyond. This is totally not his style of design work, for the face cards, and he blew me away.
Yeah, no, he did a phenomenal job.
So I don't know if I've told you or anybody, but the aces were supposed to be no color. So they were all done black and white, and they had a ton of shading, just to kind of add a little depth. And I was like, can you color in the ace of spades? I want to see what it looks like. And he messaged me. He's like, I don't think it looks good. I was like, just send it to me. And he sent it to me, and it looked like this. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah, that's fine. It looks phenomenal.
Ridiculous.
Honestly, you know what it reminds me of is something you would see on like a tapestry.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Kind of like the one I have behind me.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And the same thing went for the other aces. Originally they weren't colored. I guess they're not heavily colored, but like, their neck pieces weren't colored. Their hair wasn't colored, but we just kind of added it to add a little pop.
And I think the one cool thing about these renders too is you can see a little bit of a metallic shimmer to some of this. Do you want to talk about that, Steve?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, so when Christian created these amazing renders of the, this ace of spades, I guess, the ace cards, I guess you can say. What's the best way to put it? My hopes is to have foil. So they were originally rendered to look like foil. and that's what you see here. But that's
Which
kind
yeah,
of
part of the stretch goals there, which I think are going to be gorgeous if those stretch goals that get
yeah,
hit. I mean, this really is as a stretch goal fulfilled deck is going to be like fully foiled,
yeah,
absolutely breathtaking.
yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
And then this
Shimmer,
one,
hell yeah, the shimmer.
and then this, the Diptych Jokers. I can't. First off, I'm a big fan of Diptych Jokers that are done well. I think there are some decks out there that do a Diptych just to do it, but I think one that actually fits the theme and enhances the story is unbeatable. And this is actually a interesting kind of diptych because there's two. It's a double diptych, as Steve has called it. I don't think there's a real word for it,
There is
but
now. Come on.
yeah. But so you can actually see that the diptych shows the two guys walking away from each other, but it also shows
Travelers
them
or journeymen.
travelers, yeah, coming together as well, which I think is so awesome.
Yeah, and I we added a story for the Jokers alone. We wanted to bring people into kind of the mindset and a little bit more of the journey of the whole entire deck. What's so funny?
Leor says it still looks like two Steves to me.
And I think everybody who has a man bun looks like me, I guess, right?
Oh my gosh. So, and one of the cards we'll get to in the deck looked too much like Steve on the onset. And Steve,
Yeah.
back to Christian, was like, we need to change this.
It still looks like
Steve.
It still
Yeah.
looks like me, which makes I get it. But yeah.
There we go. Yeah, the
right
King
there.
of Spades. Which it doesn't help that it's also Steve's like card that he loves and puts that out there. So
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It does look like me. It looked more like me. And
without the crown, it looked like you a lot, or either that or the bun stuck out more. I can't remember now.
The crown wasn't on it. And it's kind of funny because that is my card, and this is the whole kind of protagonist of this deck of cards is the King of Spades, and those two arrows are really important in the story of Arjuna, which is one of the greatest archers in the Hindu kind of mythology, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Really cool story, and the two arrows symbolize love. And if you look a little bit into the story, you can see what that means. But yeah, and he had a man bun.
So for anyone who's curious too, the courts, while all custom and hand drawn, really took a lot of inspiration from like the Arabesque style courts, which
Eastern cultures.
Yeah, which I think it just the style of it as a whole is just beautiful. And the blue, I mean, the blues throughout this deck, for anyone who's a blue or a red fan, the richness and depth of the colors chosen for this deck are just beautifully done.
Thank you. Yeah, Christian, I mean, he crushed it. And obviously, as somebody said it, C-Dub talked about the diversity. That was something that, was really important. We don't see enough of it in decks of cards. So we definitely wanted to, bring the African American culture in here. We wanted to, just make it as diverse as possible. Have white, brown, doesn't matter.
But I get a kick out of it. I just realized this now. That Jack of Clubs is like white.
Yeah, bro. Heck yeah, man.
He's like, he's never seen the sun. It's a vampire. There's a vampire in the deck too.
That's me.
Oh my god. Yeah, like it's funny because seeing the different skin tones throughout the deck, it really highlights how like pale he is there.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
I love that diversity aspect of it, and I love that it was so important, obviously, to get into this deck. This was something that from your onset was part of the plan.
Yeah, no, 100%.
There you go, Stu Batman. Gotta have love for albinos.
Right.
100%.
We should have gave him white hair. It would have been even better.
Red eyes and white hair, he would have been creepy as shit like that. He definitely would have looked like a vampire.
Yeah.
Right.
Albino rat. Yeah.
There you go. I love it. Dude, and then we have the number cards, which as you can see, you can also see that kind of like foil shimmer render on these too, because again, if the stretch goals are hit, these are going to be foil as well.
Yes, they will be. Well, I absolutely love what Christian did with the arrows underneath the indices. I thought that really added a lot. And the pips on the court cards are all, custom Arcadia pips, he calls them.
Nice. And they do look really good. I love the indices. I love the pips. The clean shape of the pips. It's definitely unique, but also easily recognizable, which I love.
Yeah. Fatty pips. That's what I call them.
There you go. And then the extra cards.
Yeah, little legend telling you what each of the symbols on the core cards mean.
which I love. I love just the look of these and the continuation of the story. I think for a collector's deck,
Before
that's
you
the
go before you go any further, let me make sure I save that so we don't see the other stuff that we weren't supposed to see. Yeah,
okay.
we're good. Hopefully it's not in there.
I mean, I can refresh real quick.
Uh-oh. He didn't refresh, he hung up.
Because of course I refreshed. That's just
Refreshed.
I know. Oh my god. It wouldn't be decking around without all these fun little hiccups here. So
Leor, that is damn true. If we hit that final stretch goal, the shimmer that you guys will see will be ridiculous.
all right, I refreshed the right window this time.
Good job. Looks good.
Oh my god. All right, so we're going into the extra cards here and let's get so the one thing I want to say too and I love about this is that the extra cards again add to the continuation of the story.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to
perfect.
tell the full picture and kind of bring it all together, you know, and as a little sneak peek, which Tyler knows about, even after this campaign, there's something that'll still tie into this.
Yeah, which is dope.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the collector's box. So the interesting thing about the collector's box is that this will only contain, this will be the only way they can get these specific gilded decks, right?
Yes, it is. And just so everybody knows, this section here will actually be below the stretch goals when it launches.
Yes, which makes a lot of sense because it is a stretch goal.
Exactly. Just
So-
just a little thing that I just noticed that it's needs to be fixed. But
And there will be a third deck if the goal is hit in that collector's box as well.
correct, the future edition, but obviously we kept it out because we
Yeah.
don't know what it's going to look like yet. But that is the low trek edition, and if you notice, you know, if you go up a sec, so the collector's edition is the collector's box is going to have the teal and the hollow gilded along with low trek's gilded deck, and then you can go down and we can get into the rest.
So, and Stu had a good question. He said, "Are there any reveals within the deck?"
Trying to think if we kept it in there or left
I
it
feel like there
out.
was one on a court, wasn't there?
There was, but I think we took it out. There was supposed to be a Queen of Spades reveal.
Okay.
It was originally supposed to be on our like on the King of Spades arrows,
Okay.
but I think we took it out.
And Leor, that's correct. There will be 3 decks in the collector's box. So as you
Correct.
can see on the end stretch goal there, the future edition and the collector's box are unlocked simultaneously. So all 3 decks will be part of the collector's box. Also, the collector's box itself is dope. The concept that Steve had for this is absolutely amazing. I don't even want to tease it a little bit other than saying that it is awesome. It's something we've never seen within the community before. And I think it's something that everyone's going to love just how well it ties in with it all.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm waiting to get the renders for that. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
Trying to make that happen, you know, but yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be ridiculous, and I hope you guys like it too.
Yeah. And then there will be a worry coin or no worries coin. Yeah. So for anyone who's familiar with a worry stone, something that you hold in your hand and you rub to kind of relieve stress, anxiety, center yourself, and kind of get yourself back to a neutral state.
It's like an old school fidget toy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I have a couple downstairs and I love them. They're just like smooth, like gemstones you rub your thumb on or whatever. The idea behind this is that it's a worry coin or a no worries coin where the one side has the kind of motivational, keep your vision, stay your path. And the other side is smooth. So it can act as a worry coin.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
this will be
add-ons
available at launch.
Yep. Which I love the look of that gilded silver on the present edition.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of silver, man. So I had to do that one.
So Leo had a good question about the coin too. How big was the coin going to be? Was it 1.5 inches?
Oh, I should put that on there. It is 1.5 inches,
Okay.
I believe. Let me just double check. I believe it is because you were going 1.25 inches on.
Yeah, we went 1.25 inches on the Warrior Women, but
Yep,
yeah,
1.5 inches.
Inch and a half, yeah. And that's probably pretty standard with a lot of coins we see across most campaigns.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this one too, with that flat side, it's something you can throw in your pocket and take with you anywhere. If you do, have those times where you just need to fidget to center yourself or clear your mind, this is a great way to do it. So
Yeah. And the first time we're showing these
yeah, which this is so dope.
I'm gonna show it right here. Hopefully.
Thank you, Nick. We appreciate it, man.
Nick, thank you so much. Nick always thinking about, why is it not focusing? Is it focusing?
There you go. It's focused now. Yeah. I'll drop the share real quick.
Okay.
And then you can see it big there. Thank you, Luke. We appreciate the support, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You rock, Luke.
This thing looks so good here. I'll blow it up even bigger. There you go.
And then the back design. Now this is done
so
by
good.
Char Art.
It is going to be wood, Lior. Yep, it's going to be wood, all carved out, laser etched. It's beautifully done.
It's literally the size of a cod. So it's super. This is actually smaller than a cod, to be honest, but it's the size of a cod. Yeah, so that's your first peek that you guys are getting at that, and obviously.
Yeah, it looks good, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited about that.
And then uncut sheets are going to be available as well. And this is one thing I will say right from the jump. Steve and I always discuss this. Uncut sheets are a relatively inexpensive cost for a campaign. And it always irks us when we see them at like $40, $35. So I love the fact that this is a reasonable price point for an uncut sheet. Mind you, though, uncut sheet shipping is always costly just because of the tube mailer and the way that the postal service ends up charging for stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, that's what an uncut sheet should cost, is what we're seeing here, which I think is great.
Yeah. Just literally the cost of the deck. And here's the thing. So we had to obviously take into consideration based on stretch goals as well. But, if we hit the certain stretch goal, this will all be foil. So you'll be getting a foiled uncut sheet or a foiled deck for $16.
You basically get in a mirror.
Yeah, that's actually true. Huh? Can you imagine that silver foiled uncut sheet?
If you have a light that shines on this, you're going to be blinded.
Yeah. So if Jay, if we hit the foil stretch goal, everything will be foiled.
And the price does not go up on it, though. The price does not go up on it if the sheet gets foiled. The price you pay for the sheet now as a metallic ink will be the same as if it was foiled.
Correct.
So Patrick wants to know if there will be an uncut sheet for the future edition.
There will not.
And then we get into the man himself, Christian.
This is Steve Jobs lookalike.
The fact that it's black and white too, I feel like this is going to be on his autobiography, like in the dust cover.
Yeah,
love it. I
love it. Cool dude.
For anyone who doesn't know Christian, you should go check out the Deckin Around episode we did with him. I'll put the little thing up in the far corner there. There'll be a little eye thing that pops up. Go click on it, check out that episode. We had a great time with Christian. He's an awesome dude, phenomenal designer, and really down to earth, which I love.
Yeah, he's a blessing to work with.
Worked tirelessly since May 2020. Steve the Taskmaster putting Christian through his paces here.
I apologize, Christian. I love you. I hope you still love me. Yeah, I'm definitely not the easiest person to work with when I have an idea, as you know.
Well, no, I mean, Steve and I butt heads, but it works out great. I'll say that right now. When Steve has a great idea, he sticks to his guns, and I think it's phenomenal to see. And so the one thing I do want to mention too, because we did see the fulfillment up top and we've touched on it again here. So Steve, obviously being Wounded Corner, has shipped so many decks. He will be handling all US fulfillment, which I think is great. And then Gamblers will be handling any international. So on both fronts, you're going to have professional quality fulfillment, which I think is awesome.
And the cool thing is all decks will be packaged by me. And I mean packaged by, I'll get the deck, they'll be cellophaned, and then every deck will be put in a deck sleeve. So Gamblers will be getting the decks after they're in deck sleeves. So they'll be boxing them up also in Wounded Corner fashion in a deck sleeve. So you should be getting perfect decks.
Leo, reach out to Steve. He may be able to find you a Pride of Peacock somewhere.
I actually don't have any, and they are gone everywhere.
They are hard to find. I've seen a couple pop up on eBay from time to time at still reasonable prices, actually. So like that's been a while, but check again on eBay because it may be some there.
Yeah.
There you go, Nick. Nick says, I sold my youngest child to buy these. Worth it. We appreciate the support, Nick. Oh my God. And then of course, follow the Instagram.
No madhouse type shipping. My shit ships out quick.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah, now. Steve gets things out the door same day. If there's ever a 1-day delay, it's because Steve asked me to print the label for him.
or it's on the weekend, or it's like, if it doesn't get out the same day, there's a reason for it.
Yeah. I mean, Steve is a little OCD like that, where he doesn't want things sitting around.
It's unhealthy.
Yes, we've butted some heads on that one in the past. He's like, I don't want 10 boxes sitting in my house. I'm like, dude, it's 10 boxes. It'll be all right. But I respect the hustle there. And then, of course, look at this. A nice little plug for Deckin Around. Mad love.
Yeah, got to do it. Risks and challenges.
And then a greatly done risks and challenges.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to give 100% credit to Tyler. Tyler, I challenged him with the risks and challenge. He, of course, crushed it. And yeah, of course, it's going to be on point.
I'm going to tell you right now, too, and like this was an interesting challenge for me because I know a lot of times we say that people need to have substance. Thank you, AJ. We appreciate the support, man.
Why am I getting things late? Thank you, AJ.
I don't know, man.
It doesn't come up on me until like after you say it for some reason.
Which is super weird because usually it's the reverse.
And you had a delay last week on Thursday, and I saw it it's weird.
Yeah, super
That's
weird.
YouTube for you.
Will all backers get a Deckin Around sticker? So, Stu, there are only like 40 Deckin Around stickers left. We hope there's a lot more than 40 backers on this campaign.
And I don't have them.
And I have them, which who knows why. But Steve and I have actually not redesigned a new sticker as much as we love the last sticker that we got with from Jesus.
Nathan.
Yeah, from Nate. That was a dope one, but we have a whole new design for a future sticker. The problem is we actually weren't happy with the last sticker producer. So we're testing a couple new sticker people. We'll probably have some Deckin Around stickers in the near future, along with our other merch, which we'll be sending out some links there if anyone wants to check out some merch. But yeah, but that being said,
does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to see anything or have any questions, or should we go over prices for people or no?
I feel like we should just put this up. I think the prices should be a surprise. The prices I will tell you right now are going to be reasonably done. You know, Steve and I really sat down and, you know, Steve asked for my help on doing all this fun stuff. And we ended up spending like 3 hours just sitting there doing math and calculations. I'll tell you, it was,
that wasn't even, that was before we even dove into the campaign, like doing the math, because here, I want you guys to have the best deck at the best price. And the only way to do that, because you can't alter tiers after, is if we do, which I hope we do, but if we hit that foil goal, I can't charge $10 for a foil deck. It just doesn't, I'd lose money. So we had to think, you know, where was that sweet spot where, you know, we could start with a good price for a simple, you know, printed deck and a metallic printed deck, and then at a later date still get the same amount for a foil deck. And you know, these were the best prices we came up with. So. And
so what it came down to too, and I mean, if we want to tell them the past edition, I think it makes sense. What was it?
16.
Yeah, 16, which is
I think it's 16 or 17. So
yeah. And so honestly, what this comes down to too is like with shipping and everything, I think it ended up being that if the stretch goals are hit, you're getting a fully foiled deck for like $22 shipped.
Yeah,
which was crazy. $22, $23 shipped, which is absolutely crazy. A steal you're not going to see anywhere else.
Jim, the reason why why I'm going with Katamundi is because USPCC sucks at printing.
Also their foil is not Metalux is not foil. It's foil, but it's not good foil.
They're just not up to par with their printing. And Christian did such an amazing job with the detail and the artwork that I want it to line up. And USPCC just sucks at doing that, and they don't care. Yeah. So I wanted to give Christian's artwork, you know, the credit it deserves and respect. Yeah, and make sure it prints properly, you know. So that, and like Tyler said, the foil from Katamundi is far better than anybody else.
Yeah. And so Leor wanted to know also what time the deck was dropping.
This 11 a.m. Pacific
Standard.
Time.
Yep. So that's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Yep.
12 noon Central.
Yep. And other stuff.
11. Yeah, and other stuff. Yeah. I'm not
And
going to give
other
you the
stuff.
whole world time zones, but 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2
Yeah.
p.m.
Eastern
Standard Time. God, I'm like,
you
I'm
are
bad.
in Eastern, just to let you know.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, what time is that in my head? I'm like doing math. I can't do plus 3 hours right now.
Yo,
But
everybody, you got like the video. Come on, like the video.
yeah, I mean, come I love it. Absolutely love it. But for anyone out there, if you guys have any other questions, obviously you always know where to find Steve and I. Campaign goes live on Tuesday. We are both super excited for it. I'm excited for Steve getting this out there because I know it's been a long time in the works. This is a labor of love for sure.
This is my baby, my first deck. It's yeah, I mean it's finally here. I'm excited. Literally a year. May will be a year, but you know, it's close enough.
For anyone who hasn't clicked on it yet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that you can go and click that, and it'll give you, of course it didn't send as a link though, but it'll give you the option to notify.
Yep. There will not be any early birds. I am sorry. And that's because of the stretch goal thing.
When Steve meets goal, Tyler should shave his beard.
Well, you know, maybe that'll happen. You guys should tune in next Thursday.
Yeah, we'll see. we will definitely see. But that being said, I have to say, yeah, the reason, and Steve and I, honestly, we went back and forth on the whole idea of early birds. Like I said, we spent a lot of time really working out the numbers on this and making sure that not only was this deck going to be the best deck for the best value you could get, but also we didn't want Steve to go broke producing this thing. So
I refuse to be stuck in that situation that a lot of other people get stuck in. I don't want to, I just don't want to be overwhelmed with the amount of money I owe on the campaign when the whole purpose of the campaign is to create it. So yeah.
And the truth is, and you know, we see this a lot. I mean, many of the campaigns that you see that do phenomenal, that you love, a lot of those creators end up being, you know, 2, 4, 10 grand in the hole. And like, that's a tough one there to really come out of this, having created something, but realize that you've lost money on it. So we did a lot of kind of factoring to figure out how this was a great scenario for everyone.
A lot of factoring.
Yes. More math than I've done since high school.
Much to my, I guess,
dismay.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. My excitement. I was really excited.
Oh, excitement. Okay, there you go.
I brought it to Tyler. We went over the numbers, and by the end of the conversation, I was like, "Fuck!"
I think I pulled
to Tyler, and it was like, "Fuck!"
I think I literally said to Steve, "I'm like, I don't want to be the one to shit on your dreams here, but let me drop some straight facts on you."
Yeah. That's for damn sure.
And it really, and yeah, Dan, you're 100% right. There you go. Numbers are a huge thing. Most people who don't make decks on Kickstarter don't really know the cost and stuff. It's 100% true, man. Until you actually get into getting the quotes, talking to everyone, figuring all the little add-ons and all this stuff, it's crazy to think how much you have to. You basically need an accounting degree to figure this out. Sometimes it gets tough.
Yeah. Jay, the stock is going to be B9 Slimline.
Yep.
By Katamundi. So it'll be top-notch stock. It's going to handle like a dream.
Fresh out the box, it'll handle great.
Oh yeah, it's going to handle perfectly. You know, if you want to handle it or not, it's going to be perfect. And the tuck boxes are printed by Clove Street Press, so the tuck boxes are going to be stupid.
AJ, appreciate it, man. No way you'll lose with Rainbeard crunching the numbers like Stan Grossman. I do what I can. I'll tell you.
Rainbeard. It took a long time to figure out the numbers because there was so much weird stuff like we had to consider, you know. But yeah, he crushed it. And here's the cool thing about
100%, Dan.
What did he say? I want a
He said I want a formable deck, but I'm not going to go in the whole deliberate. It's such a tough thing because, you know, and I think this is something that a lot of creators need to come to terms with, is there are people out there who are willing to lose money to get their creation out there, and there are others who are not. And at the end of the day, there's ways to always get your campaign to fund, and if nothing else, break even. You just have to be honest with yourself from the jump.
Yeah, and this is the one thing that a lot of people they get kind of stuck in a spot where, and I'll be, in the beginning, I had a kind of a notion of how I wanted this to look, right? I had an idea and a vision, let's say. I wanted full foil, and crunching the numbers and making 3 decks full foil with low trek involved
Yeah,
is just not, off the jump, is just not doable. So I think when you're creating a deck, you can have your perfect deck in mind as a goal, right? But just to create a deck that people will love, that you could, at least be proud of, is probably will benefit you if there's a first step. Get the goal funded, then have stretch goals to get to that point where it'll be the perfect deck for you, where you're not going to lose 5, 10, $15,000. It's just, I think, being aware of the numbers, and being okay with not getting the 100% deck that you wanted. you know
exactly.
yeah.
It really is a very fine line there, and being willing to compromise with yourself, which is probably one of the hardest things to do, because you know what you want. And
Yeah.
I think, as more creators get out there, Steve and I are excited about these campaigns we're involved with recently for two reasons. One, it's great to create, but the other side of it is it's giving us even more information and more knowledge with this, so that we can hopefully bring it to all of you out there who are looking to become creators in the future, and really be very candid and honest with you about the process and the pitfalls. And, sometimes it's difficult. I mean, we really sat down, and, like I said, Steve, and like Steve mentioned, he originally wanted metallic ink on both decks from the jump. The problem
I wanted foil on the jump.
yeah. And the goal, though, we realized would have been like $30-something thousand as an initial goal point. And that was just like, that's hard. It very well could have hit it. But with the way that Kickstarter strategy really works, is you want your goal to be as attainable as possible. So
this is another thing we found out. The whole point of a Kickstarter is to get your deck funded.
yes,
It's not to make a ton of money. It's to get your deck funded. And if you end up making a ton of money on top of that, you fucking lucked out. You did a great job. You did everything right. Whatever the reasoning may be. But the point is, if you want a deck and you want to create it, your goal is to get that deck funded and not have a penny come out of your pocket.
Yeah. Or be willing to say, I'm willing to spend $1,000 out of pocket. But in reality, that to me is more so a worst case scenario. I think, honestly, everyone should be going into a Kickstarter saying, I need X amount of dollars to make this cost me nothing.
Correct.
And that's how you go about it. And, some creators, they care more about the deck itself than the actual interest in it. And that's
their ego, so to speak.
Yep. And ego is one of the first things you have to let go with this stuff. I mean, we've seen it a lot where a deck comes out, it doesn't fund, it gets put back up, it still doesn't fund because nothing was changed. And instead of taking feedback from the community and trying to make the deck something everyone wants, they're more concerned about getting it created because it's what they want.
Or they fund it. And and then it doesn't do well on the backside, where it's time to put it up for retail, and because nobody wanted it during Kickstarter, nobody's going to want it during retail. So it's like, just eat your ego a little bit, see what mistakes you made, and move on from that. But for this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that I brought the deck that we created out. Will it be exactly how I want it? I hope so. But if not, it's still something I'm very proud of. It's still something that a lot of work went into, and
you'll be happy with.
The goal. Yeah, I'll be excited about it, actually.
So, Nick, this is a great question too. How much money does it take to develop and get the Kickstarter up? That really depends a lot on your designer, on whether or not your designer needs an upfront cost, or if they're willing to, take apart from the campaign, things like that. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah.
If you're designing it yourself, obviously your cost is significantly less as well, because you end up not having to pay a designer.
Pull up us on the screen just so we can be bigger.
Yeah. So it really depends a lot. The initial cost on a campaign, depending on how far you go and what level designer you want to go with, or the visibility of a designer, you could be looking at anywhere from $0 and just putting time into it to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, depending. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, it might even be more than that. I mean, the
yeah,
design fee is included in my my goal, so that's something that you have to take into consideration. You know, some people pay 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 for designers. So
yeah.
it
It
depends on
really
how
depends. Yeah,
it depends on how much the designer is charging, and it
yeah,
depends if you take that as, you know, towards your goal, or you eat that cost, or whatever it may be. You know, but that's depending on you and what you're comfortable losing or gaining. You know.
yep.
Um,
Lior, the reason that there are no pictures up for the box yet is that they are still in render phase. So those should be up
oh, the
hopefully,
collector's box.
yep,
Gotcha.
soon after the campaign launches, as soon
Yes.
as possible.
They
So,
they might be ready before the campaign goes live.
yep.
You know, we're hoping. We just had a couple measurement issues we had to fix, so we'll see. But I assure you, it'll be something you haven't seen before. It'll be dope. It'll
It
be
really is dope.
very shimmery, if that is a word. It'll be yeah, definitely something you haven't seen before in the COD community. And it'll have 3 dope gilded decks in it, foiled and just sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out to check out this sneak peek of the Visions playing cards. If you haven't already, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. We always try and bring some fun information for you. And like I said, Steve and I have learned a lot from these Kickstarter processes. We're going to be bringing as much information as we possibly can to each and every one of you so that when you are ready to create a deck, if you decide to do so, you have a knowledgeable content base that you can go to for information and 2 people you can reach out to ask questions to.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. You know, we appreciate you being here and supporting.
We love you, Bo.
Dude, there's no ER, man. There's no ER. Get it straight, Bo.
Yeah, it's there you go. There you go. A lot of AH at the end. Shima. Thanks everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. Make sure to keep an eye out for the What's on Kickstarter dropping tomorrow at 2 p.m. and make sure to tune in for Steve's drop of the deck at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time this Tuesday, March 30th. You are not going to want to miss it.
Peace.